What if I told you that some of the vegetables you've been eating your whole life, thinking they're good for you, might actually be doing more harm than good? Especially now that you're over 65. Many of us experience unexplained aches, persistent fatigue, digestive troubles, or even fogginess in our minds, and we often attribute it to just getting older. But what if a part of this struggle isn't inevitable, but rather a direct result of what's on our dinner plate? It's a surprising truth. But certain vegetables, consumed regularly, can exacerbate inflammation, interfere with nutrient absorption, or even strain our delicate systems as we mature. It's not about these foods being inherently bad, but rather how our bodies handle them as we age, and how certain compounds within them can become problematic for some individuals. In this video, we're going to uncover 7 common vegetables that seniors over 65 should seriously consider reducing or even avoiding to help you feel lighter, more energetic, and truly live your best life. Stick with me until the very end, because I promise there's a vital piece of information that will truly surprise you and change the way you look at your plate forever. Let's dive right into the first surprising contender on our list. A vegetable that often graces our plates in salads, smoothies, and even cooked dishes. But one that many seniors might need to approach with caution: raw spinach. While packed with nutrients like iron, vitamin K, and antioxidants, raw spinach is very high in compounds called oxalates for younger, robust digestive systems. Processing these might not be an issue. However, as we age, our kidneys can become less efficient at filtering and processing these compounds. High oxalate intake, especially from raw sources, can contribute to the formation of kidney stones, which are incredibly painful and can lead to serious health complications. Beyond kidney health, oxalates can also bind with essential minerals like calcium and magnesium in our digestive tract, preventing their absorption. This means that even if you're consuming plenty of calcium through other foods, a high intake of raw oxalates could be silently undermining your efforts to maintain strong bones and healthy muscle function, potentially contributing to issues like osteoporosis or muscle weakness. Moreover, for individuals with pre-existing conditions like gout or certain types of arthritis, excess oxalates can exacerbate symptoms by forming crystals in the joints, leading to increased pain and stiffness. It's a subtle effect, but over time, it can contribute to that general feeling of stiffness or discomfort many seniors experience. The good news is, you don't necessarily have to cut spinach out completely. Cooking spinach significantly reduces its oxalate content. So, instead of large, daily raw spinach salads or big spinach heavy green smoothies every morning, consider making a simple switch. Lightly steaming, sautéing, or briefly boiling your spinach for a minute or two can make a world of difference. This simple change allows you to still enjoy the vast nutritional benefits of spinach without the potential drawbacks of a high oxalate load. Imagine enjoying your greens without worrying about their impact on your kidneys or mineral absorption. If you love the convenience of raw greens in smoothies, consider alternatives that are much lower in oxalates, such as kale, romaine lettuce, or even beet greens in moderation. Think about it. A daily green smoothie loaded with raw spinach might seem like the epitome of health. But if it's unknowingly contributing to that nagging joint stiffness you've been feeling or putting a silent strain on your kidneys over time, a small adjustment can bring about significant relief. It's about smart substitutions and preparation methods, not deprivation. Now, moving on to another vegetable, or rather, a group of vegetables that are often lauded for their cruciferous goodness, but can be a real challenge for many mature digestive systems: broccoli, cabbage, and cauliflower, especially when eaten raw or in large quantities. These vegetables are indeed incredibly healthy. They are rich in essential vitamins like C and K, abundant in fiber, and packed with powerful antioxidants and compounds like sulforaphane that are known to fight inflammation and even possess anti-cancer properties. However, they also contain complex sugars called raffinose and sulfur-containing compounds called glucosinolates. While beneficial, these compounds can be very difficult for our digestive systems to break down, especially as we age and our natural production of digestive enzymes, which are crucial for this process, naturally slows down. This often leads to uncomfortable and sometimes painful symptoms like excessive gas, bloating, and even abdominal cramps, making you feel sluggish and heavy after meals. For seniors, persistent bloating can not only cause physical discomfort, but also put undue pressure on internal organs, potentially exacerbating other conditions or simply making daily activities feel more cumbersome. The key here isn't to eliminate these nutrient powerhouses entirely. Far from it. The solution lies in how you prepare and consume them. Cooking these vegetables thoroughly by steaming, roasting, or boiling them until they are tender helps to break down these difficult-to-digest compounds, making them much more manageable for your digestive system. Start with smaller portions and gradually increase as your body adapts, paying close attention to how you feel. Another excellent way to consume cabbage, for instance, is in its fermented form, such as sauerkraut or kimchi. The fermentation process pre-digests many of these complex sugars, making them incredibly gut-friendly and even enhancing their nutritional profile by adding beneficial probiotics. Also, consider pairing these vegetables with digestive aids or simply being mindful of how your body reacts after consuming them. I often hear folks say they avoid broccoli because it gives them gas. Well, it's not just you. That feeling of your stomach rumbling and swelling after a big bowl of raw coleslaw or a large serving of undercooked broccoli is your body telling you it's struggling. Imagine enjoying these healthy vegetables without that uncomfortable aftermath. Just a little extra cooking time can be your secret weapon to absorbing all the goodness without the discomfort. It's about being kind to your digestive system, which works tirelessly for you every single day. All right. We've talked about greens and our beloved cruciferous friends. Now, let's shine a light on a vegetable that is a cornerstone in many cuisines, particularly Mediterranean and Asian dishes, but one that belongs to a family that some seniors might find surprisingly problematic: eggplant. Eggplant is a versatile vegetable, known for its unique texture and ability to absorb flavors, making it a favorite in dishes like moussaka, ratatouille, and baba ganoush. However, eggplant is a member of the nightshade family, which also includes other common foods like tomatoes, bell peppers, and potatoes. While the vast majority of people consume nightshades without any noticeable issues, a significant number of individuals, particularly those with pre-existing autoimmune conditions, various forms of arthritis, or chronic inflammatory conditions, report an increase in symptoms such as pain, stiffness, or digestive upset after eating them. This sensitivity is often attributed to naturally occurring compounds called solanine alkaloids, which, in sensitive individuals, can trigger an inflammatory response in the body. The effects are often subtle and cumulative, meaning you might not notice a direct link immediately after one meal, but rather a gradual worsening of symptoms over weeks or months of regular consumption. For someone already dealing with joint pain, this silent inflammatory contribution can be especially unwelcome. If you experience unexplained joint pain that seems to wax and wane, persistent stiffness, muscle aches, or general feelings of inflammation, especially after meals, consider a small, personal experiment. Try eliminating all nightshade vegetables: eggplant, tomatoes, potatoes, especially the skins, and bell peppers from your diet for a period of 2 to 4 weeks. During this time, meticulously track your symptoms to see if there's any improvement. After the elimination period, slowly reintroduce each nightshade vegetable one at a time, giving your body a few days between each reintroduction to observe any changes in your symptoms. This methodical approach can help you identify if eggplant, or any other nightshade, is a specific trigger for you. If you find eggplant is indeed a trigger, don't despair. There are many delicious and healthy alternatives that can provide a similar texture and absorb flavors beautifully. Explore options like zucchini, which can be sliced thick and grilled or roasted like eggplant, or various types of mushrooms, such as portobello mushrooms, which can offer a satisfyingly meaty texture in dishes. Roasting or thoroughly cooking eggplant can sometimes reduce the potential irritants, but for truly sensitive individuals, complete avoidance might be the most beneficial path to comfort. I once spoke with a gentleman who had chronic knee pain, always worse after dinner. We discovered he was having eggplant parmesan almost every other night. Once he swapped it out for zucchini-based dishes, his knee pain significantly lessened. It wasn't a cure-all, but it was a big piece of the puzzle. It just goes to show. Sometimes the very foods we enjoy can be silently adding to our discomfort. Listening to your body is crucial here. If a food makes you feel worse, even subtly, it's worth investigating. These first 3 vegetables might have already surprised you, highlighting how what's healthy in general might not be healthy for your unique body as you age. But we're not done yet. There are still 4 more vegetables we need to discuss, including a common root vegetable and one often associated with summer BBQs. That could be slowing you down. Let's move on to the next set of revelations that will help you refine your diet for better health and more vitality. Continuing our journey of discovery, let's talk about a vegetable that often finds its way into pies, crumbles, and even savory dishes, yet carries a significant oxalate load that can be particularly concerning for seniors: rhubarb. This tart stalk is a delightful ingredient for many, known for its unique flavor profile, often paired with sweeter fruits like strawberries. However, much like raw spinach, rhubarb is exceptionally high in oxalates, specifically oxalic acid. While it's rarely eaten raw in large quantities, cooked rhubarb, especially when consumed frequently or in generous portions, can still pose issues for older adults. The high oxalate content can bind with calcium in the body, preventing its proper absorption and, more significantly, potentially contributing to kidney stone formation. This risk is particularly elevated if you're prone to kidney stones or have any pre-existing kidney conditions. For individuals with inflammatory conditions, such as gout or certain types of rheumatoid arthritis, oxalates can also exacerbate symptoms by forming microscopic crystals in joints, leading to increased pain, stiffness, and inflammation. Imagine already battling joint discomfort and unknowingly adding fuel to the fire with a seemingly innocent dessert. If you love rhubarb, moderation is truly key. Enjoy it occasionally, perhaps as a seasonal treat, rather than a regular daily or weekly staple. Ensure it's always cooked thoroughly, as cooking can help reduce some, though not all, of the oxalate content. Also, consider a traditional approach combining rhubarb with calcium-rich foods like yogurt, a splash of milk, or even a calcium supplement. When calcium and oxalates are consumed together, the calcium can bind to the oxalates in the gut, reducing their absorption into the bloodstream and minimizing their potential to cause problems. However, for those with a history of kidney stones, a diagnosis of gout, or significant, persistent joint pain, it might be wise to limit or even avoid rhubarb altogether. There are many delicious alternatives for fruit-based desserts that are lower in oxalates, such as berries, apples, or peaches, which can satisfy your sweet tooth without the hidden risks. I know for many, rhubarb pie brings back wonderful memories of childhood or family gatherings, and there's nothing wrong with enjoying those memories occasionally. But if you find yourself struggling with kidney issues, or that persistent ache in your knees just won't quit, it might be worth considering if that generous slice of rhubarb crumble is quietly contributing to the problem. It's a bitter truth, pun intended. But sometimes the most nostalgic foods need to be approached with a bit more awareness as we age. From a tart stalk, we now turn our attention to another nightshade that's a staple in many kitchens, often perceived as a comforting and harmless carbohydrate, but one whose potential pitfalls for seniors are often overlooked: the humble potato, especially when consumed in certain forms. Potatoes, in their natural state, are indeed a good source of potassium and vitamin C, and they provide energy. However, as we discussed with eggplant, potatoes are part of the nightshade family, carrying those same solanine alkaloids. While most people tolerate potatoes well without obvious issues, for seniors already dealing with inflammatory conditions like arthritis, fibromyalgia, or general chronic aches, regular consumption of potatoes, particularly the skins where solanine concentrations are highest, or any green parts which indicate high solanine levels, can potentially aggravate symptoms. This means that seemingly benign mashed potatoes or roasted potato wedges could be subtly contributing to your daily discomfort, beyond the nightshade aspect. Potatoes also have a relatively high glycemic index, meaning they can cause a rapid and significant spike in blood sugar levels after consumption. This is a particular concern for those managing diabetes, insulin resistance, or simply trying to maintain stable energy levels throughout the day. Frequent blood sugar spikes can lead to energy crashes, increased cravings, and over time, contribute to chronic health issues, And let's not forget the most common preparation methods, deep-fried chips or French fries. These popular forms of potato add unhealthy trans fats, excessive sodium, and contribute significantly to systemic inflammation, increasing the risk of heart disease, weight gain, and general bodily stress. If you suspect nightshades are an issue for you, applying the elimination and reintroduction strategy we discussed earlier can be incredibly insightful. If you do choose to consume potatoes, opt for healthier cooking methods that minimize the inflammatory load. Baking, boiling, or roasting with healthy fats like olive oil or avocado oil are far superior to frying. Prioritize smaller portion sizes and always pair them with plenty of fiber from non-starchy vegetables and lean protein to help stabilize the blood sugar response. Consider sweet potatoes as a more beneficial alternative, while also a starchy vegetable. They generally have a slightly lower glycemic index and are often better tolerated by those sensitive to nightshades, although they are not entirely free of solanine-like compounds. The main takeaway is to choose wisely and be deeply mindful of your body's reaction. How many times have we reached for a plate of chips as a quick, comforting snack or enjoyed a baked potato slathered in butter as a side to our dinner? For decades, potatoes were a perfectly innocent and essential part of our diet. But if you're finding your joints creaking more than usual, or if your blood sugar is a constant battle, it's worth examining how much and what kind of potatoes you're eating. Swapping out a side of fried potatoes for a serving of roasted carrots, steamed green beans, or even a baked sweet potato can make a remarkable difference in how you feel, without sacrificing that comforting, starchy satisfaction. Now, let's talk about a vibrant, summer favorite that often makes its way into salads, sauces, and sandwiches. While ripe tomatoes are generally considered beneficial and are packed with important nutrients, there's a specific aspect of tomato consumption and the way some individuals react to them that seniors should be aware of. Tomatoes, like eggplant and potatoes, are members of the nightshade family. Fully ripe, red tomatoes, especially when cooked into sauces, are rich in beneficial antioxidants, most notably lycopene, which is great for heart health and has anti-cancer properties. However, for some sensitive individuals, the alkaloids present in tomatoes can still trigger an inflammatory response, particularly in the joints, or cause digestive discomfort like heartburn or acid reflux. Unripe or green tomatoes, in particular, tend to have higher concentrations of these potentially irritating alkaloids and should generally be approached with caution or avoided if you have sensitivities. Consuming very large quantities of tomatoes or tomato-based products on a daily basis can also be problematic for those prone to kidney stones, as tomatoes contain moderate amounts of oxalates, adding to the overall oxalate load in the body. It's a balance if you're experiencing unexplained aches and stiffness, chronic heartburn, or persistent digestive upset. It's worth considering if tomatoes, especially in large or frequent amounts, are contributing to your symptoms. Once again, a temporary elimination diet can be very insightful in identifying your personal triggers, if you find they are indeed a trigger. Explore alternatives for adding flavor, moisture, and acidity to your dishes. Roasted red peppers, while also nightshades, are sometimes tolerated better by those sensitive to tomatoes. Other options include using lemon juice, balsamic vinegar, or even a blend of herbs and spices to achieve that desired tang and depth of flavor without relying on tomatoes. If you choose to consume tomatoes, focus on fully ripe, vibrant red tomatoes, as they tend to have lower levels of problematic compounds. Be mindful of portion sizes, and remember that cooking tomatoes into sauces can sometimes make them easier to digest for some individuals. Think about how many times a week you might have a pasta dish with rich tomato sauce, a sandwich with fresh tomato slices, or even a glass of tomato juice. These seemingly innocuous additions can add up quickly over a week. If you've been battling persistent indigestion or your hands feel stiffer in the morning, it could be beneficial to ease up on the tomato intake for a while. It's not about giving up your favorite Italian meal forever, but rather understanding your body's unique limits and finding that balance that allows you to enjoy life with less discomfort. Sometimes, just cutting back from daily consumption to a few times a week can make a noticeable difference. We've covered 6 crucial vegetables that warrant a closer look in your senior diet. But there's one more that might be surprisingly problematic for some, especially considering its ubiquitous presence in processed foods and its natural form. This final vegetable highlights the importance of not just what we eat, but how our bodies are equipped to handle it as we age. Let's unveil our seventh and final vegetable, and then we'll wrap up with that surprising piece of advice I promised. Our journey through these surprising vegetables brings us to the seventh and final contender on our list. A seemingly innocent grain often mistaken for a vegetable, and a staple in many diets, but one that can present unique challenges for seniors' corn. While fresh corn on the cob can be a delightful summer treat, and it does contain some fiber and antioxidants, there are several reasons why it might be problematic for seniors. Firstly, corn kernels, particularly the tough outer casing, are famously difficult for our digestive systems to fully break down. As we age, our digestive enzymes and stomach acid often naturally decrease, leading to incomplete digestion of corn. This incomplete digestion can result in uncomfortable bloating, excessive gas, and sometimes even nutrient malabsorption, as the digestive system struggles to extract goodness from the partially broken down kernels. Many people notice corn passing through their system largely undigested, which is a clear sign that their body is having trouble with it. Secondly, a vast majority of the corn consumed today, especially in processed foods, is genetically modified, or GM corn. While the long-term health implications of GM corn are still a subject of ongoing debate and research, some individuals choose to avoid it due to concerns about pesticides and potential impacts on gut health. Even beyond the GM aspect, sweet corn, in its natural form, is relatively high in sugar compared to other vegetables. This can contribute to rapid blood sugar spikes, which is a significant concern for those managing diabetes, insulin resistance, or simply trying to maintain stable energy levels throughout the day without the peaks and valleys. And finally, corn is often a hidden ingredient in countless processed foods, from high fructose corn syrup, which sweetens everything from sodas to cereals, to corn starch, corn oil, and various corn-derived thickeners. This means we often consume far more of it than we realize, contributing to an overall inflammatory burden and digestive strain without even being aware. If you love corn, enjoy it sparingly, perhaps as an occasional treat rather than a regular side dish. Opt for organic, non-GMO corn whenever possible to minimize potential concerns, as this can often be easier to digest for some. Be particularly mindful of portion sizes, especially if you experience digestive discomfort, bloating, or gas after eating it. Consider choosing other whole grains that are generally easier to digest and have a more stable impact on blood sugar, such as quinoa, brown rice, or oats. Alternatively, focus on naturally sweet, starchy vegetables like carrots, squash, or sweet potatoes as alternatives for sweetness and texture in your meals. Most importantly, make it a habit to read food labels carefully to identify hidden corn ingredients in packaged goods. Aiming to reduce your overall consumption of processed foods where corn often lurks is a smart move for your health. Extending far beyond just avoiding corn on the cob, it's not just about the corn directly on your plate, but the corn hiding in so many other things we consume daily. I remember my grandmother always saying she felt heavy after eating corn. At the time, we just laughed it off. But looking back, it was likely her digestive system struggling with those tough kernels. Many of us grew up with corn as a regular side, in casseroles, or even as popcorn for a movie night. And while an occasional serving is fine, if you're consistently feeling bloated, sluggish, or battling blood sugar fluctuations, take a closer look at how much corn, in all its forms, is sneaking into your diet. Small dietary shifts, like choosing a different vegetable or grain, can lead to surprisingly large improvements in your daily comfort and overall well-being. It's about eating smart, not just eating less. So, we've journeyed through 7 surprising vegetables that might be silently undermining your health as a senior. We started with raw spinach, understanding its oxalate load and how cooking can transform it from a potential hindrance to a true nutrient powerhouse. Then, we looked at the digestive challenges posed by large quantities of raw cruciferous vegetables, like broccoli, cabbage, and cauliflower, and how gentle. Thorough cooking makes all the difference in making them more digestible. We explored the nightshade family with eggplant, potatoes, and tomatoes, recognizing their potential to trigger inflammation and digestive upset in sensitive individuals, and emphasizing the profound importance of listening to your unique body signals. We then delved into rhubarb, another oxalate powerhouse, reminding us of the wisdom of moderation and careful preparation. And finally, we just discussed corn. From its difficult-to-digest kernels to its often hidden presence in countless processed foods, urging you to be vigilant about all forms of corn in your diet. The common thread woven through all these insights isn't that these vegetables are inherently bad or that you must eliminate them entirely. Rather, it's a profound realization that as our bodies change and mature with age, our unique needs and sensitivities evolve. What once worked perfectly for us in our younger years might now require a little adjustment, a little more awareness, and a little more care to ensure optimal health and comfort. Remember, knowledge is power. And these insights aren't meant to scare you or make you feel deprived of your favorite foods. Quite the opposite. They are meant to empower you, to arm you with information that can genuinely improve your quality of life, allowing you to proactively manage your health. Small, mindful adjustments to your diet, based on your body's unique responses, can lead to profound differences in your energy levels, your comfort, your mental clarity, and your overall sense of well-being. You deserve to feel fantastic, vibrant, and full of life at every age. And nourishing your body intelligently is one of the greatest gifts you can give yourself. And now, for that surprising truth I promised at the very beginning of our conversation. While we've spent time focusing on specific vegetables to potentially reduce or adjust, the biggest surprise might be this: the very act of not experimenting with your diet, of not trying small elimination tests, or of not exploring different cooking methods, is perhaps the biggest disservice you can do to your health as you age. Many seniors simply accept aches, pains, fatigue, or digestive discomfort as just aging, an unavoidable part of getting older. But in reality, a significant portion of this struggle could be directly linked to their diet, to specific foods their unique body no longer processes well, or to preparation methods that aren't serving them. The real secret isn't just knowing what to avoid in a general sense, but cultivating a deep, intuitive awareness of how your individual body responds to absolutely everything you consume. Your body is constantly providing you with clues and signals. It's up to you to listen, observe, and adapt. So, the most surprising and powerful advice is to become your own health detective, to experiment gently and patiently, and to truly trust the subtle and not-so-subtle signals your body sends you. This proactive, personalized approach to your diet, tailored specifically to your unique system, is far more powerful and transformative than any generic good food or bad food list could ever be. It gives you the power back. I truly hope this video has given you some valuable insights and actionable steps to consider implementing in your own life. I'd absolutely love to hear your thoughts and experiences. Have you noticed any specific vegetables causing you discomfort as you've gotten older? Perhaps you found a clever way to prepare one of these vegetables that makes it more digestible for you. Share your stories, your challenges, and your tips in the comments below. Your experience could be incredibly helpful and inspiring for someone else in our wonderful community. If you found this video helpful, if it sparked a new idea or gave you a moment of clarity, please give it a thumbs up. It truly helps us out. And don't forget to subscribe to our channel for more practical advice, encouraging words, and inspiring content designed to help you not just age, but truly thrive in your golden years. Every like, every share, and every subscription helps us reach more incredible people like you who are committed to living their best life. Thank you for joining me today. Remember, your golden years are meant to be filled with vitality, joy, and comfort. By nurturing your body with awareness and care, you can truly live your best life at every age. Take care, and I'll see you in the next video.